Hello, welcome to the Turntable Class with GB Audio. What we're looking at today is a Syrinx PU3 tone arm. Now, this one's mounted on a Logic DM101 precision turntable. A little bit about Syrinx. They were an Edinburgh company, Syrinx Precision Instruments, who originally manufactured medical equipment and test equipment until they turned their attention to hi-fi tone arms. Initially they made the datum tone arm for Logic. It was used on the early versions of the DM101, and then they manufactured tone arms of their own brand. This is the PU3. So we can see it's got an integral cartridge mount at the end. It's not really a head shell, but it's the cartridge mounts on the end of the arm directly. Has a finger lift. The wires, as usual, run through the arm tube. This knurled part of the tone arm allows you to loosen the arm tube and put a twist on it to get the cartridge sitting at the right angle to the record. For the back, there's an arm lifter, damped of course, and then the vertical and lateral bearings. The counterweight at the back is basically just a large lump of stainless steel on a thread, and again there's a knurled piece of plastic at the back here which you can loosen and then turn the counterweight backwards or forwards on the thread to set the weight correctly. You'll probably notice there's no indexing on the counterweight, so in order to set it up correctly it needs to be done with a stylus gauge. Other detail you can see here is this little side weight. This is the anti-skate device, and you can probably see the bit of cotton line that attaches it to this peg underneath the arm here has snapped or worn away due to age and wear and tear, so that will have to be replaced. The weight is adjusted by turning this little counterweight on the thread. This gives the anti-skate bias to counter the natural momentum of the tone arm in towards the center of the record. Right, so we're going to have a look at the bias weight here. I'm going to put this cloth underneath to protect the surface. This is feeling a little bit stiff, partly because of, I think, corrosion on the thread. It was looking a little dirty, or might just be grubby, but anyway, we'll get the bias weight off first and then give the thread a clean. There's the weight off. Just put that safely to the side, and then we've got this little a scrap of thread which is snapped and will need replacing. So I'm just using some alcohol gel here to clean the thread with an old toothbrush. Going to replace the line. It was originally a piece of cotton on there. You could use a piece of fine cotton, or I'm using a piece of nylon invisible thread. So I've made a little loop at one end. Which we can slide up the thread here. Just gently and carefully take it along the thread to the top end. It then feeds over this little V-notch pulley, and then I need to hook it onto the peg under the tone arm. Let's get a lower view on that. So now we pick up the loose end of this line and needs to hook onto the little black pin underneath. It's a little bit fiddly, but there we go. It's on. Now we'll reattach the side weight, running it all the way up to the top of the thread. Let's check the tracking weight on this cartridge. This is an Ortofon MC10. Typically it would track between about 1.3 grams and 1.8 grams. So I'm going to aim for about 1.5 thereabouts. So it's at 2.5 at the moment. That's rather heavy, so let's unlock the counterweight and rotate it so it moves backwards a couple of turns. .9, that's a bit better, but it's going to need to go a bit further back. .34, okay. Slightly overdone it, so we'll come forward another little bit. 1.52. Yep, that'll do nicely. So now I'll lock that off. And just do a final check. 1.5354. Yep, that's good. In order to check that the cartridge is correctly vertical, it's a good idea to use a disc with a long run-out groove so you can see the reflection of the cartridge in the groove there, and we can see if it's sitting perfectly perpendicular. Here this one's not at the moment. It's going to need a little bit of an adjustment. So to achieve that, turn this knurled bit here, and allows us to pivot the arm tube until we get it sitting nice and perpendicular. It's almost there. Lovely. The anti-skate bias weight here has no indexing at all on it. Syrinx in their instructions suggest setting it by audio, by listening to a track and seeing if there's any distortion on one side or imbalance in the sound and adjusting it for that, or checking if the stylus is running absolutely straight in the groove or if there's any tendency to twist the stylus to the side a bit. Then the anti-skate would adjust and compensate for that till the stylus is sitting straight in the groove again. In my experience, little tracking weight right at the top end of the scale, the minimum amount, generally works well for a tracking weight of about 1.5 grams. If you found this tutorial helpful, perhaps you'd subscribe to our channel down below. That would be helpful, and good luck setting up your own PU3.